This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories, and welcome to my review of Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, Episode 8. This episode is titled Shadow and Flame, and it was a little mixed episode. Some really great stuff, some bad stuff, and some stuff that I really wish they didn't do, but I'm hopefully just going to accept. Looking at it, the one thing I really didn't love was the fact that they made the stranger to be Gandalf. I feel like ultimately they could have been a lot better and had him be one of the blue wizards. I do hope that the evil wizard is one of them and not Saruman, because that would just create a bunch of problems going on, and his betrayal would not really be that subtle. So yeah, honestly, just hope they do that. And going through really everything, I think that I'm kind of glad that it seems that the Harfoots are going to be like gone for good. Maybe we'll see them like one or two more times, but hopefully they just find the Shire off screen and just get to live happily ever after there. And the Tom Bombadil thing was fun when they're singing the song, and that this was all set up for him to not be wanting to look for the staff for power, but wanting to go and help his friends. I mean, that was the obvious lesson and the obvious way he was going to go, but probably could have had a scene where he actually makes that decision instead of him just kind of showing up. Also, the opening to the episode honestly was really cool with the previous Durin dying to the Balrog, with the Balrog not taking Moria, but everything just being closed off. I think that they did a good job to show that Moria will eventually fall to the Balrog, but also not having it be immediate. They're also setting up some tension with the rings to see if that Durin will give them out or not. I mean, they will have to be given out, but maybe not by Durin and possibly by his brother. Someone I don't think we've seen anything of at all, but we'll probably be seeing him next season, and he'll probably take his father's ring and go to distribute the other ones, which will explain why the dwarves get them, and that's because Durin obviously would never give one, and wouldn't have that ring go on his finger. But honestly, I think that everything with that Durin's death was pretty cool, and that they didn't have the fall of Moria happen in this. Going to stuff with Numenor, it's honestly getting even more interesting with that, with the faithful being fully persecuted and sent off. We also have that small little connection where Isildur gets picked up at the end of the season and taken back to Numenor as his father escapes. And I think that this is setting up some pretty big stuff for next season. I think next season's going to start off with Sauron forging the One Ring, and it'll probably have the season premiere title be One Ring to Rule Them All. We also got to see there's the Founding Rivendell in this, but I'll go back to that in a minute. Just looking at everything here, I'm assuming we'll see Sauron forging the ring and the downfall of Numenor next season. And the entire time, reason having Isildur go back is because he needs to go and steal one of the seeds to the tree, so we can plant the white tree and will eventually become Gondor. And honestly, I'm excited. We're also going to get to see Arnarion next season. And well, they're changing a little bit with the daughter, wanting her to protect her family. I still think she'll ultimately be loyal to Pharazôn, and in the end, she will be dying on Numenor when it collapses into the sea. And just going through just more of the show, it was honestly pretty interesting with that. Now going to some of the other storylines. The Harfoot one, don't really care about them. Hope we don't see them again. And if we do, maybe just like one or two scenes of them finding the Shire and settling down there. And just continuing through really everything, I think that the show could have potential. And honestly, I will be watching other seasons. Definitely not the greatest Lord of the Rings adaptation ever, but now to go talk about the big stuff, the stuff with Sauron. Honestly, I love everything they did with Celebrimbor and Sauron's final encounter. Celebrimbor is defiant to the end and is able to see the future of Sauron's ultimate downfall. But I don't know, maybe the Lord of the Rings thing, it's something that I will understand why they had it in, but I also kind of like rolled my eyes a little bit. Looking at him, just more stuff. Honestly, I think that his conversation with Galadriel was well done. Him using his shape shifting just to taunt her was pretty interesting, and I think it was a fun confrontation where she's nearly killed at the end. And then the entire thing with Elrond saying to put on the Nenya to save her is more or less to explain that he's accepting that the rings need to be used, and ultimately that he'll eventually put on one after Gil-galad gives it to him. One thing I am wondering is if we'll be seeing Círdan giving Gandalf his ring, or if that'll be saved until the end of the show. Edar's death, while predictable, was pretty brutal with all the orcs turning on him, and him ultimately being killed, and then them kind of immediately regretting it when they see that Sauron doesn't care for them. When they point out that this will cause the deaths of many, it ultimately goes and doesn't matter. It is just Sauron killing them, and he clearly shows what he thinks of them. They probably realize that they messed up, but now there's no real choice back, and they have ultimately fell. And honestly, I think it's interesting to just turn the orcs fully around to being an evil species. They tried to make them sympathetic, but they just like completely 180'd once they declared loyalty to Sauron. So yeah, honestly, probably could have been a little bit better and a little more drawn out. But still, honestly, um, I'm fine with it. We had the orcs in their proper place, and we also knew that the plot to kill Sauron would ultimately fail. But yeah, honestly, I wonder what's going to be going on in the future. What they're going to do to help to continue these stories. As I said, I feel like the big thing with next season ending will be the fall of Numenor. But there's honestly just a lot of other things that could happen. I do wonder what will happen next. Oh, it's also, I just totally forgot this scene reminded me that's playing right now that Orlando was also given Narsil, and I wonder if we'll be seeing him take other things that he'll be bringing to Middle Earth. But yeah, honestly, I'm excited for the season, and I'm not dying to see it. As I said, this is nowhere near close to the incredible level of quality that the Peter Jackson trilogy is. And even though I really enjoy it, I know a lot of people don't like the Hobbit trilogy, but I'd say that the Hobbit trilogy is a lot better than it. And while I think that it has some potential and some fun, this is ultimately it does have its flaws. But like I said, I'll continue watching. Isn't the worst thing ever. Isn't incredible, but is enjoyable enough to watch. But ultimately, I want to know what you think. Please let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next episode of Legends and Theories. Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, check out the video on screen, and may the Force be with you.